Hey everybody, my name is Tracy, and I just wanted to tell people what I'm going through, who are going through the same thing as me. I lost the love of my life 35 days ago, and July 21st, Joe, the love of my life, he had a stent put in his heart, and the whole time I've ever known him, he's never gone to a doctor or hospital or anything like that. And when he told me to call an ambulance, I knew something was wrong. They life-flighted him to a hospital. They put a stent in the next day in his heart. The doctor came out and said surgery went well. He does bottom part of his heart has a lot of damage to it. He had a heart attack in the past. Didn't know it. And a week after the surgery, he was so worried about finances because I wasn't working at the time. I just finished quitting the job that I worked with him at. It was an onion plant warehouse, and it was just too hard work. I couldn't do it. It was lifting a lot of stuff, and my asthma was getting triggered with the onion powder in the air and stuff. So I worked there about a month, and so he decided to go back to work a week after he got home from the hospital. He contacted his doctor. He says, you need to send me a release. I have to get back to work. Financially, I mean, he went crazy sitting at the house for a week, and so he went back to work. The assumption I thought he wasn't going to do any lifting. He was going to do easy work. He was a forklift driver. So I knew that, he drove a forklift around. He didn't have to do too much strenuous things. One day on August 29th, or I should say August 28th, he came home from work and he was complaining that his chest was sore and that he couldn't breathe. But the breathing thing was pretty normal sometimes because he was a smoker. He smoked for many years. He was 53 when he died. And he smoked for many years, and he went ahead and started actually doing the patch and everything. And he liked to drink his beer some nights, so he cut that down to maybe 1 or 2 beers a night. He was really trying to get healthy. He was taking his medication like he was supposed to. And so he was complaining on August 28th of this year, 2017, of the breathing, and all of a sudden he said his ribs were hurting on his right side. Then he goes, oh, I know what it is. I pulled a muscle lifting a propane tank at work. Didn't even dawn on me to call an ambulance, because once he said that he thought it was pulled muscle, the ribs, I didn't say anything. I said, okay. And I told him you're not supposed to be lifting anything, but he was lifting it anyway. He didn't want to ask everybody at work for help. He was so worried about losing his job, and he wasn't going to lose his job. They loved him there. The next morning we woke up. He always slept on the couch because he loved watching TV, and I couldn't sleep with the TV on, so he would always sleep on the couch. And when we got up, I had a really bad headache and stomach cramps. I thought, oh my God, I have to go to work today. I'm so sick. And all I thought about was how I felt, and I didn't want to go to work. I was so sick. He said that every 15 minutes he kept waking up. He was uncomfortable. So I'm thinking he couldn't get comfortable, not like discomfort comfortable. So that morning he took me to work. It was 6 in the morning. He dropped me off. I gave him a kiss. Said see you later. He was excited about, it's Tuesday night. We'll watch America's Got Talent tonight, because after work our night time together was our time. We did Jeopardy at 7:30 for 9 years. We sat there competing against each other. So I text him from work about 8:30 in the morning, and I tell him I'm really sick. I'm going to see if I can go home. He says okay. He texts me back okay. So I went ahead, went to work. I was at work, and around 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, the electricity went out in that part of town where we were working, so they decided to close up. I told him I won't be coming back if we reopen because I'm really sick. He said, okay. So I'm walking home, and I'm cutting through the field, and I texted him. I said, I'm heading home. He says, you leaving now? I said, yeah, I'm almost home. And he says, "Do you have to go back?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't have to go back." He goes, "Okay, good." That was at 10 o'clock. I laid on the couch and I started watching TV, and I noticed that lunchtime passed and he hadn't called me. And I know that sometimes he would get busy or a truck would come and he couldn't take his lunch until after he got that done. So I didn't worry about it because it happened before. I don't know what time it was. I lost all track of time. His death certificate said 12 something. He died at 12:14 or something in the afternoon. So there's a knock on the door, and it's my ex-boss to tell me that something happened to Joe at work. So I said, "What happened? Is he okay?" And she wouldn't answer me. She goes, "You need to call Lucy." Lucy was, her son works with my husband. And so I guess he had called her and told her what's going on. They went to my work to look for me, but they couldn't find me. They said I went home. Then she said that they tried to bring him back, but they couldn't save him. And I said, "Not my Joe." So, and then from then until like basically now, I've been living in a cloud and a fog. I feel so alone, and I met Joe online in 2008. He was a paranormal investigator. He was a paranormal investigator for many years, and I was really into that. And I built websites for fun, social sites and stuff. So I built a lot of his websites. And then for 2 years we were talking online all the time, and we did a radio show, Blogstar. We have so we talk to each other through the video, and we do a show every night on Blogstar, him from Florida and me from Massachusetts. 2010 of June, this couple that we met on the show, Blogstar show, they used to come to our shows, said, "You know what, this tension is driving you crazy. Why don't you guys come to Florida?" He was already in Florida. So why don't you come to Florida and come stay with us and start your lives together? I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. July 2nd of 2010, my plane landed in Florida, and I met him for the first time. And he was all worried because he was short. He was like 5'4", I was 5'6". He was short, so he was like all worried. I was gonna love him because he was short, but I didn't care. Eventually, we moved to Massachusetts. We ran a paranormal team in Florida called the Jacksonville Ghost Hunters. Then we moved to Massachusetts and we started New Bedford Paranormal and became East Coast Haunts. We had a show called East Coast Haunts. We did a TV show, local. Then the crime there in that city was so bad, so my daughter asked us if we would move to here to Oregon, so I could see that my grandbabies grow and be with my kids. All my kids are here, right in this neighborhood, He had no qualms about it. He wanted me to be happy. So they paid for us to fly to Oregon, and we lived here for 2 years, almost 3 years. And so that was our lives, As soon as we got here, we never ghost hunted again because for some reason our phone wasn't ringing off the hook like previous places that we lived. But it's 36 days, and I still feel the same. I still cry every day. I make it through work the best I can. I work with the public. I won't say where I work at, but I work with the public. And sometimes it's so hard because people go, "How are you doing today?" And you want to say, "I'm dying inside. I lost the love of my life and I'm dying inside." That's what I want to say, but I can't, So I have to put on this fake facade. All I've been dreaming about for the last 36 days is I want to go die in my sleep so I could be with him. It's been really hard. I'm older than him. I'm 56 years old. And I never thought that I would be alone and without him now. I had a lot of guilt, I should have called the ambulance, I should have called the ambulance. And a week later, after his funeral, he came to me in a dream, and in this dream, I'm telling him, "You're gonna die today. You need to go to the hospital." And he never spoke. His mouth never moved. And so he went to the hospital. The doctor came out and said his stent got moved when he lifted something heavy, and we're gonna fix it. And I was so happy. This dream, I was like, it was so real. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it was a nightmare. He's really gonna be okay. I walked over to him. He was sitting in the chair, and I gave him a big hug. And I said to him, if this ever happens again, I want you to know how much I love you. I didn't want to let go. And they pulled him into the surgery, and I woke up before the end result. So I looked up visitation in dreams, and they said they were more vivid than a normal dream. And the loved ones in the dream, they don't speak because they have no bodies anymore. There's no mouth movement. They just speak with their thoughts. So that's when I realized he visited me in my dream to tell me that even if we called an ambulance the night before, he still would have passed away in the hospital. And I know that's what he was trying to tell me, is to get rid of my guilt, and he let me have that one last hug. Holidays are going to be hard because Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas, but December 6th was his birthday. So I have to make it through the rest of this, the new year. Every Valentine's Day we would go out to eat and have a nice dinner. It's just been really tough. But I just wouldn't wish this on anybody. And if anybody has lost a spouse, I know what you're going through because I'm going through it myself. It's like pure hell. Knowing that, and us being in the paranormal field, we had spoken before if one of us passed away, we would come and give us a message. I know the dream was a message, but I haven't had no signs here in the house, or maybe, I don't know, I'm grieving so bad that I haven't got it. That's why he hasn't come, because I'm grieving still. Everybody says, oh, once you stop grieving, he'll start coming around. I said, I want him to come around and see me grieving. I want him to know how much I loved him. You mean he's not going to come around if I'm grieving? So yeah, it's been the worst time in my life ever. I'm 56 years old, and this is the worst pain I've ever felt in my whole life. The worst pain. But alright, I'm gonna get off here. This is actually my first video in a long time. Most of the videos that we have says Joe and Mystery, and that was because me and Joe would show our videos for paranormal and stuff. But now it'll just be me talking about the love of my life and how it makes me feel that I'm not with him anymore. I even lay down every night in bed and pray for God to take me. Give me a heart attack. Give me something. Just take me so I can be with him. The pain is unbearable. And usually after the funeral, the first week or so after the funeral, friends and everybody comes around and calls and stuff. And now it's 36 days later, and I'm lonely. I sit here, no knocks on the door, no visits, no phone calls. It's really sucks. Thank God for my mother. My mother's still around. She's 76 and she's going strong and she's doing great, and I just talk to her. I call her 3-4 times a day. She went through this when my stepfather died 40 years ago, so she knows what I'm going through. But nobody else understands what I'm going through. They think they go on with their lives, and you're left to sit here and pick up the pieces of your life that's just fallen and torn to pieces, and you can't do nothing about it. But if I was to get hit by a truck tomorrow, I'd be happy. I really would. But okay, I will. This will be one of my first videos of my grief. And if anybody ended up watching it, thanks for watching. Leave a comment. So nice comments, please, because I'm really distraught and I don't want nasty comments. Alright, maybe I'll do another video later. Bye.